Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Hustling Show once again, and I'm going to be joined by Kirtana Swaminathan. Without wasting time, let me see if I can add her. I see her. I've sent out, and she should join us any moment. Kirtana, otherwise you could send me a request to join. I will accept it. Okay, I see your request. I'm accepting it. Technology holds us back at times. It says unable to join. I don't know why this is happening. Uh, okay,
Hello.
I have you finally.
Yeah.
Good things take time, so I always believe in that.
Hey, you're
So, you
getting
know,
stuck.
okay, I can see you clearly. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you're a little pixelated, but I can see you. So, you're moving around. So, unless you go totally blocked, I will inform you, but
Okay.
you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can.
You can hear. So till we can hear each other, I think the session can go on. So we shouldn't have a problem. Anyways, firstly, I'm going to start
Yes,
by
yes.
saying welcome
Definitely.
to the Hustling Muscle Show and belated International Women's Day. A very happy belated International Women's Day. I couldn't have you last week, so I'm having you this
Thank
week.
you.
And as you know, my sessions are going on women and things like that. And today we're talking about
Yeah.
sports psychology and women in sports. That is the hot topic right
Mm-hmm.
now because we have the ladies cricket team right now. I'm hoping for the best. I think Smriti Mandana just whacked a century and a few
Yeah.
others are doing very, very well. And so it's right now time. My best wishes with them. So without wasting any time, my very first question to you, which has actually been, my first thing when I started this entire thing, writing these questions. How different is sports psychology when it comes to men and women? We know for a fact,
Mm-hmm.
this is from a personal experience, I always know that women are much stronger. But their responsibilities also are much larger. We have to accept that. Women have much larger responsibilities. They live up to it, they live up 110% to it. What's your take on this? How different is it for them?
I think as far as our world is concerned, I think there's a lot of stereotypes and labels for men and women, for even men as well. And I think here it's not about anything else. It's more about fighting those labels. And because of those labels, we have something called the guilt, we have something called anxiety and all those things. So I think it's more of the social labels that we need to fight and not feel guilty
Hmm.
about living for ourselves. I think that is very important. And I think that's the difference
Hmm.
between, men and women probably in this world.
Hmm.
Again, men do have their
Hmm.
own issues, but in this terms, especially in sport,
Hmm.
and the
Hmm.
sacrifice and living for themselves, I
Hmm.
think that guilt aspect
Hmm.
is very important. That changes everything. The labels and the stereotype changes
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm. Hmm. We could see that. I don't know. I remember this movie Chuck Day India that went really
Yeah,
viral. It was based
yeah,
on true facts. And when we saw the captain who was the goalkeeper, how, I was pretty amazed towards the end how the entire, family turns. Initially, they were so objective. You can't do
exactly,
this, family first. But when she makes
exactly.
a name for herself, they are proud. And
Yeah,
the bandwagon absolutely changes. So, these
exactly
things,
that.
what you're saying is very important. So that's a
Yeah,
very great message you've done. It's labels that we are fighting more than anything.
yes.
And these labels, I think somehow never end. They keep going on. Things just
I
keep
think it's in the
popping.
head. It's just in the head because a person, we are much beyond the labels that we are talking about. We are much beyond the stereotyped version of men and women that people talk about. And I don't think any of those labels matter ever. And
So,
no matter how many labels keep coming, we need to know what we are. And I
so
think somewhere, yeah, go on, go on.
no, first you finish.
No, I think somewhere we get lost thinking that label is the right label for me, which is not even the truth because all of us keep evolving and growing, and a label that suited us yesterday may never suit us tomorrow. So, yeah,
So when you're saying it's a mental thing, it's a mind thing, that's where geniuses like you come into play. You help them, take those labels off. You help peeling off those labels. So that's where, experts like Kirtana come in and they use, their talent, their experience to help these players. So kudos to you guys. Okay, now my
thank you.
next question. I have done postpartum sessions on nutrition, on fitness. I did it with Gauri Shingote on nutrition. I did it with Dr. Mukherjee on fitness. Now I
Yeah.
ask you, postpartum and sports psychology, how would you explain this to the viewers? It is not easy. It is not easy, going through postpartum. Now I ask you in terms, for players, for a lady, why I ask this is right now I was really amazed when I saw the Pakistan cricket team land with their captain
Yeah.
carrying the baby. Okay,
Yeah.
Misma Barova. And it was something very amazing. I really liked that.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's not easy. But can you explain to the viewers how a person goes through a player goes through this, how they come back to their performance? We know Serena Williams has done that. So many others. The examples will just go on, not only in the sports field, in every field.
Yeah.
Can you explain that psychology part and postpartum?
So I'm going to make this really easy. Just like the way men they keep their job as well as parent the child, the same is possible with women as well. It's mother is just a role that they play. Being a mother is a role they play, just like being a wife is a role they play. Being a mother is a role they play. And just like men can balance things out, women also can balance things out. But the thing is that I think there's a lot of again labels and stereotypes and this
Hmm.
entire mindset that this has to be done by women and that has to be done by men. That I think the purpose of that person or the purpose for that person's life is lost. So
Hmm.
then we begin to live for the society. So women who actually stop doing that,
Hmm.
women who actually start living for themselves, like say a Serena Williams and the rest of them, they actually take it forward from there. But then again, it is hard. It is really hard to push, but it's never impossible.
Hmm.
It's not impossible because yes, emotions are up and down,
Hmm.
and there's this entire. I think it comes in a lot of movies, right, wherein the mother wants to go back to work
Hmm.
after a few months, and they
Hmm.
have this thing. Although they want to, they're very much capable of balancing both.
Hmm.
They have this guilt within them. Oh,
Hmm.
is it the right thing that I'm doing? They have that question, and I think that's the hardest to fight. That is really the hardest to fight because we live in an illusion that that's the wrong thing to do, whereas
Hmm.
there's nothing right and wrong, as per textbook. So I think that's the hardest thing to fight.
Actually, the word guilt you said is very right. It's both. It's very clear when people talk to me. It's both. It's a man's job as well as a
Exactly.
women's job. It has to go hand in hand. Especially in today's world, you have to support each other.
Yes.
Only then can you go forward. It doesn't become a one-person job. It doesn't work like that. Those days are gone.
Exactly.
Today, you have to wake up and see because obviously, if you have somebody with talent of sports talent, you have to see to it that person gets that particular opportunity. I think
True.
there was this movie, if I'm not wrong, came out called Panga. It was based on a kabaddi player, and
Mm-hmm.
in
Yep.
that they
Yep.
very much had shown, where the husband Jesse Gill had played the husband. I think Kangana Renault was in the lead role, where he
Okay.
pushes his wife to make a comeback at a very senior age. So she
Yeah.
goes, makes a comeback in kabaddi, and it was a very nice movie. So you have to be more supportive. There are 110
Correct.
things, so it goes both ways. It always doesn't have to come back to
100%.
a man. It has to be both ways. Staying on the
Definitely.
same subject, my next question. As women age, their responsibilities increase. This is something I have seen in life myself because for everything, my mom has been a person in front. She never backs down.
Mm.
So, more of an example from her. They have the superpower, willpower. They don't, let me in any field, they don't, hold back.
Mm.
Tell us as a psychologist how you helped these people, these people who are aging. We know there are a lot of ladies today, representing even at a senior age. If you look at something like Olympics, things like that, there are many names you can take there at a
Yeah.
very senior age, and they're still representing their countries at the best and winning. How do you help these ladies as they age? How do you help, help their mind through this age?
I think one of the issues that women face that I've also noticed is a lot of body image issues as they age,
Hmm.
um, and being unable to accept that change.
Hmm.
Because obviously, as we grow, things change.
Hmm.
So I think that's
Absolutely.
one of, even in terms of sports, that's one issue that I keep seeing, and I think
Hmm.
again they lose out on themselves. They stop liking
Hmm.
themselves. They don't accept themselves
Hmm.
for who they are.
Hmm.
I think there's a lot of sacrifice that goes in, and there's a lot of this. How do you put it? They don't like themselves. They don't like the way they look, and I think it's
Hmm.
very important to embrace change, embrace growing old as well. And I
Abs-
think that's very important. And as they grow older, I think the responsibility towards themselves must increase rather than responsibility towards other people, because as they grow older, they need themselves a lot more than other people actually need them. It's more like they need themselves. So they need to be in tune with them. So I direct them a lot inward rather than outward
Outward.
when they come to me. I think that's very important. I think going and trying to figure things out for themselves, living a life, because as women, they keep sacrificing life, throughout their life, actually their life throughout their life. So I think that's very important that they go inward and they are there for themselves. And that's what I look at, because that solves all the issues. They start accepting themselves for who they are, they start working on themselves, they start embracing life, they start loving life. That a lot of things changes there.
Absolutely, what you're saying is absolutely right. That's why professionals like you come into play so well. I was reading this somewhere. It's very important when you have a problem or something to write it down. They say when you write
Correct.
your problem down, your solutions automatically start coming. I don't know where I read
Flowing,
this or
yeah.
seen this. So, but yeah, this is a very important, thing. So I actually am telling this to a lot of people now because I have started practicing this because problems are there for everybody. So, this just
Correct.
reminded me, but so I thought this would be something great to share with the
No,
people.
actually, you're right. And I think the biggest obstacle there is the fact that people think that problems
Hmm.
are not meant to be shared, whereas problems actually are meant to be expressed. You're supposed to express,
Hmm.
even if it is not with another person, you got to express it out. Maybe just write it down, and that's nothing wrong.
Hmm.
Because the more it is in your head, the more it's clogging your mind, and you're not able to see solutions at all. So there's another way to do things.
The dear diary moments, as we said. The olden times, people used
Exactly.
to maintain a diary. They used to write
Yeah,
what happened,
yeah,
how they felt the entire day. I remember as a
definitely.
child when I was growing up, there was this very famous American sitcom, Doogie Howser, MD, about the
Right.
miracle child who becomes a doctor at a very young age and stuff. And
Okay.
he always had that habit. It was played by Barney Stinson. So Barney
Right.
Stinson
Okay.
was Doogie Howser. So I remember he would sit on his blue screen during the
Right.
90s, write his notes. So yeah, writing
Right.
down, journaling things is very important, very good way of expressing things.
Definitely.
Uh, okay, now moving to my next question. Women in sports in the last odd decade, they have
Hmm.
started going places. They have started, pushing themselves. Today we can see they're at a very different level. They're competing with men, rather surpassing men in many sports. They're creating a mark for themselves. Okay. Now my thing is captaining such teams is not easy. Every time you see right now, it's Rohit Sharma or Kohli or Dhoni. It's the most stressful job. If you've noted, all their
Yeah.
beards started going white only once they became captain. It
Right.
takes a toll because we live in a very critical world, where the smallest mistake made by a team, rather let it be
Yes.
an office team or anything, it is taken over by the captain only.
Exactly.
How important is it for their mental health to be strong, and how do you guys help captains, because it's not easy, because it's like a mountain on their head and they have to show confidence irrespective the pressure, their performance going down or whatever.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
know that they have to have a smile on their face and show that yes, I am
Yes.
strong, you have to be strong. Give a little light on this to the viewers.
Okay. So again, strength. Strength is not just putting a smile and saying everything is fine when it's not okay. I think strength is accepting where you are right now and making those steps to change.
Hmm.
I think that is strength. So many people have gotten this word mentally strong wrong. I think I'd spoken about this last time as well. It's not about not being vulnerable, but it's mostly about, okay, this is the mistake I've done and this is where I am right now. Accepting that and progressing. I think that's the most important thing. Now, having said that, another way to look at this, like when they captain this, it again looking at multiple roles, because women again have a lot more to kind of take in, right? So it's just about juggling between roles and accepting and moving forward. When that acceptance is not there, is where we have this big issue.
Actually, that's very well put, accepting things and moving forward, because when you come into a
Yeah.
tight spot on million things, it's, you have to accept the situation, but you don't give up, you don't give in, I always keep
Yes.
remembering the NatWest series. I'm a cricket buff, so 90% of my
Mm-hmm.
example when it comes to leadership comes through cricket only somehow.
Right.
I remember when
Right.
India beat England in that final where everybody thought it was not possible, but we
Mm-hmm.
still it was a turning point for Indian cricket also. Yeah, so it shows strong points. And even today, if you actually, I saw the match, I was looking at the highlights, though we didn't put up a big score. I think that the Indian team tried doing well. The women's team tried doing well. It was just 134 on the board, but they still
Mm-hmm.
brought the English team down to 6 wickets. It was 134, 136 for six, I think, was the final score. So, you can
Okay.
see those traces of strength. It's not easy. They came close. They at least tried. They didn't give up that easily.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
counts. Not giving up. Pushing till okay, it's over. So I always
Exactly.
believe that. Never give in.
Yes.
Okay. Now moving to, we were talking about being strong. Some of this is, coincident. Sometimes being too strong, is not too good. Okay. Do you find at times women suppress their feelings? They don't, they keep it to themselves. How do you handle such cases?
Again, let's change the connotation of what strong is. Strong is not
Hmm.
suppressing. Like I said earlier,
Hmm.
people think that is strength. Actually, that's not strength at all.
Hmm.
Strength is
Hmm.
not enduring things all the time. Strength is enduring
Hmm.
until when you need to endure and then, like, kind of accepting and moving on. That is strength. So, again, over
Hmm.
there, what I work on is basically changing their perceptions of what is this mental strength and accepting, because
Hmm.
people who don't accept this, where they are right now, they're very rigid, which means they're not able to move.
Hmm.
And they're going to be there all the time,
Hmm.
which means that increases frustration, that increases anxiety, that increases
Hmm.
a lot of disturbance in their mind, right?
Hmm.
So that acceptance, I'm not asking them to accept and stay there, because
Hmm.
that is not good, but definitely accepting that this is the place they are in. For example, that they're going through a big low, right? Let's assume they have an injury. That's a big low for any sports person, be it men or women, right? And accepting, okay, yes, I do have an injury right now, and what can I do about it? Because if you're going to fight it out, suppress it, saying, okay, I don't have any pain at all, and I am going to keep playing, the problem just keeps getting bigger.
Increasing. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's very important to acknowledge and do the right thing at that point, which is, yes, I'm here right now, and what do I do to go to where I want to go to?
Hmm.
And that just makes life so much easier.
But at times, do you find, how do you find such cases? Because I know these people must be very silent, must not talk. How do you know, okay, this person is suppressing something? There is something, within themselves they're not telling out.
It comes
You,
out, isn't it, at some point? Until then, we can't really do anything much because they have to
but
make a choice.
But is it
But
easy with experience? Is it easy for you to understand? Okay, how this person has issues. There is something
no,
going
even
on.
if
Not
I
ready to share.
do acknowledge, yes, definitely. I think even if I kind of figure that out, which it
Hmm.
is pretty easy for me as a
Hmm.
psychologist,
Correct. Hmm.
I wouldn't really go about and try making them change at that point because they have to make a choice. No matter how
Hmm.
much I tell them, it's not going to impact them at that point because
Hmm.
they need to understand that,
Person
okay,
has to
this is
be
not the
willing.
space
Correct.
I want to be in. Yeah, exactly. And that's very important.
That's very right. Accepting things. Guys, this is something I've
Yeah.
spoken earlier also. For a lot of people who want to lose weight, I tell them, see, I made a reel on this. I told the first thing that I changed is
Mm-hmm.
my attitude. The attitude, I know
Correct.
everything. The attitude, I don't need help. I people think when you're losing weight, this is something you can do it on your own. You don't need help. No,
Yeah.
you need nutritionists, you need trainers, you need physiotherapists, you need people like you to help us, with those parts in our mind that it is not going to happen, it is
Yeah.
not going to happen. So the willingness
Mm-hmm.
to accept is very, very important, I feel. So what you
Correct.
said is
Correct.
very true. So I have to agree with you 100%. Now, we have spoken so much. You've given so much knowledge to people out there today. I think you're starting to impart a lot of knowledge. I will come toward the end of the show to that. But my last question to you now.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of young girls are seeing it. My niece was seeing this live. I don't know whether she continued to see it or went off, but she was there.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many million girls who are going to be watching this in the future, and
Yeah.
a few others right now after uploaded. What are you going to tell them to, to inspire them to follow your profession?
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's not about my profession. I'm just going to say something which is very important as women. I think being authentic to oneself and absolutely giving yourself the space to make mistakes is important because as women we tend to want to be perfect, right? And that is not at all necessary because you also are growing and it's very important to be authentic to yourself and that if you miss out on that authenticity then I guess everything is lost.
well, that's very, very well put. I have to say that's very, very well put. We all make mistakes. You learn through your mistakes. Every mistake is a chance for
Yeah.
you to learn and take back a learning. And about perfection, trust me, I've been through the stages where I wanted everything perfect. Having a person in your
Correct.
team who wants everything perfect is a very, very, it's a jinx thing. Everything can't be perfect. At times, even in the videos, I think, no, this has to change, that has to change. I came to a point, no, I'm just consuming so much time, just trying to be that perfect. It's
Yes.
always good 90 or 9 to be 99%. When you rate something, when a rating comes, give it 9 out, 10 out of 10 or how much. I always, even if the person is excellent, I will always say 9 out of 10. I said there's
Mm-hmm.
always has to be 1%
Scope
for
of,
you to
yeah.
keep improving. I
Correct.
was arguing with this friend who says, no, I'm the best at this. You are the best at this. I said, I'll never be the best at anything because the minute I say
Mm.
I'm the best at something, I'm putting a ceiling on my head. I can't
Mm.
grow beyond that. And
Mm.
if we want to grow in life, we need to keep moving. So once we put a
Yeah.
ceiling on our head, how will we grow? So I at least look, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong. You're the more knowledgeable person here. But
Nothing right or wrong here, but I think it's yeah, whatever works for people.
whatever works for people.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been a great session. I think you've given some amazing knowledge to the people out there. I'm sure people who are gonna who watch this video and are gonna watch it are going to take a lot of notes from you. And guys, Kirtana is putting up some amazing content out there. I keep seeing her content. I keep interacting. I'm going to start sharing it on my wall also. She puts some amazing, amazing content. You guys have to follow her. You guys have to go through her content. You get to learn something with the content that she puts up. So, guys, whoever's watching
Thank
this,
you.
do follow Kirtana. Do follow me. I'm connecting you to some of the most amazing people in fitness, health, and wellness, and whoever amazing people I find. So this is a platform I'm creating for that. So guys, do follow Kirtana, do follow me. And if you guys have any suggestions for us or any topics you want Kirtana to talk about or me to talk about, do tell us. If you have any queries when it comes to psychology, sports psychology, anything, DM Kirtana, DM me. We're always there to help you. So Kirtana, I thank you for
Yes.
your time and I thank you for coming into the Hustling Muscle show. Thank you guys if you're for watching the video and if you're I'm going to be uploading it. If you like it, do like it, share it with your friends, do give us your comments, how we can make it better, what changes we can make. Any suggestions are always welcome. So, guys, this is Kirtana and Hustling Muscles signing out of the Hustling Muscles show. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you again, Kirtana. It
Thank
was
you.
lovely talking to you.
Same here.
Bye.
Thank you.